Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and we just got back from the Kansas City show, and it is time to unpack these animals. We've done a lot of videos like this. We want to do something a little bit different. We wanted to unpack them with you here. What that's going to do is going to let you see kind of what we sold and what we ended up taking home. Remember, our prices online, our show prices are often different because sometimes we change price while there. We'll run a few show specials, etc., etc. You know, it's a way to get rid of things we know we need to move. So that's going to be a little different. We're got 4 boxes to go through. They may not all be in this video, depending on how long it gets. We may do 2 and 2, but we are going to share with you kind of at least what's going on with us when we were at the Show Me Reptile shows in the Kansas City area. The reason I'm putting that place in there is because I truly believe different towns have different markets. They're going to have different needs. They're going to have different customers and clients wanting different things. So what I had success with in Kansas City, you know, we may have a completely different experience in Lincoln, or a completely different experience in Louisiana, or a completely different experience in OKC where we just were, on what tends to move and what doesn't, and what prices are moving and what price point we're selling animals at. So first of all, what was the show like at KC? For the first time, I would say ball pythons. Since I've been going to shows, I would say ball pythons were not the predominant animal there. And I'm not including spiders, because you can go to one table and those spiders in little bitty containers, they can have a whole bunch of spiders. I'm not talking about animal count in general. I'm talking about just table focus, right? We say how many tables were focused on one thing. Ball pythons has been a king since I started going to shows. This would be the first show that I felt like ball pythons were not the main thing. They were probably the second most popular animal at the show, and the first most popular at that particular show to me felt like it was crested geckos. And I was pretty close, so maybe I was just noticing them more. Maybe I just noticed them more if we recently got into some crested geckos, so that could be part of it. But I felt like there was more tables dedicated to crested geckos and that kind of thing than there were tables dedicated to ball pythons. That's a switch, y'all. Now, any other snake replacing it, it's crested geckos. Crested geckos also being a super staple animal, so that was good to see. For me, I like that. Some of you are probably being like, oh man, is that bad? No, it's great, because if you're there, like, the more people who's like, everybody's like, well, I'm going to quit doing ball pythons because the market's blah, 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 whatever the hell there is, they say. Every time they dip out and I go to a show selling ball pythons, it's just less competition. Fine, you know. The market that I saw really thrive in Kansas City is I did see some people who did buy some super cinis. You guys know my feelings on super cinis, so I'm not going to rehash that. But, you know, so there were some high-end stuff that didn't move. I mean, you don't see what everybody buys except what's at your table. We weren't bringing anything too crazy high, but we did really well in that market of people getting that first or second snake, or just, you know, getting into ball pythons, or just, you know, we weren't selling a lot of huge breeders. There weren't a lot of huge breeders there buying. It was a lot of people who were kind of at that beginning level in the ball python world, whether it was pets, whether it was I'm wanting to breed in the next few years, whether it was this is just a hobby I want to play with, and that kind of showed in what I felt like we moved. So let's cover this box. We'll go over a few things we moved, a few things that we didn't. One, we're going to start right up here. Yeah, man, we took one straight up normal to the show, and we sold it. It was actually the very first animal we sold. It was actually sold to another vendor, believe it or not. And I think it was, he knew somebody looking for a ball python there. It was easy. We were close, 20 bucks, bam, out the door. So the first animal we sold at this show was a normal, contrasting that to the first animal we sold in OKC, which was a super banana. So that definitely kind of shows you there. We also had this pastel male. We were moving at 50 bucks just to get it out because we had it too long. It sold. We had a pastel inchy yellow belly at 150. It sold. It was one of the later ones to sell. I was kind of surprised by that. On this row, this pinstripe HRA, we had it 100 bucks for a male. You know, it's probably actually worth a little more than that. We took it home. Why do we take it home? Because to me, this is animal. If you want HRA and you want pin, it makes sense. But does a pin HRA actually look better than a straight pin? I don't think it does. It's not as bright. It's more dark and muted. So that's part of what's holding that back. This ghost, we took it home. I was a little surprised at that one. We had a 75, which is, I think, you know, still too cheap for a ghost, but not crazy too cheap. We ended up taking that thing home. So we'll see. I'll find you a new home soon, I promise, little buddy. This inchy ghost also came home with us as a female. Males and females, slightly more demand for females than males there. but not something too crazy. This is going to be a theme you're going to see with what we had at Kansas City. We had a pastel lesser het desert ghost, possible het cryptic or clown, right? $400 for that animal. Anything, we did sell a visual clown, you'll see later, but anything that was het, 100% het or possible het, was coming home with us. It's just, you know, and that's a sign to me of people looking at that animal and going, well, I want an animal that's pretty. I don't want to pay for extra shit. I would have sold a pastel lesser way easier. I would have sold that one. It's part of where that market is there. Here we had a super pastel freeway. We sold that. We had this cinnamon. We had, I think, got several looks. It came home at $90, which is about the going rate for those. We had a pastel yellow belly het exanthic. We did sell this one, even though it was het. This is one of the few hets we did move. So it moved out at $250. So it was a really nice looking snake. I think that's why it made that move. The Krypton, 100% desert ghost, female, mind you. So this is a triple recessive, 100%. You can visually see the Krypton, so you know it's cryptic and clown. And the het desert ghost, we have the breeding log to prove that. Honest to goodness, guys, that thing didn't even get a sniff. I mean, not a sniff. Nobody gave two shits. That's what it is. Spider het clown at $100 for that male. That's pretty cheap. It came home. The Hellfire Project, we know it's going to be hard to move until we prove that out. It came home. We brought home that mahogany. This one that has no label just simply says sold. Watch, I'll show you why. Okay, it's open. Thanks ARS for cutting one that does not open. Like, you can get it open, but you got to almost hammer that fucking thing closed. So we just always leave that one as sold. All right, we're going to put these up and then get the next box out for you. One thing we're going to share with you before we do is just like when we pack animals up, we treat every animal that leaves here to go to a show with a mite spray. We're going to mite spray every single one of them as they come back, just to try to prevent anything we might have picked up. There's thousands of people walking around, right? They may be bringing something from home. They may be rubbing it on everybody's snakes. I mean, and hand sanitizer doesn't kill that, so we treat everything out and in. All right, we will be right back after I put these up. Okay, guys, we are ready for box 2, and looking at how long this is taking, we probably will do 2 separate videos, box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, to kind of take you through this whole thing. So again, like I told you, you're going to see some themes, right? Here is another het Krypton or het clown, right? 100% desert ghost, possible at cryptic clown. So 66% chance for cryptic or clown, guaranteed desert ghost, pastel lesser. We took that home with us. $350 is not a lot for that animal. It wasn't that long ago. You could add a 1 on that pretty easy. But here we are. It's just where the market is. And truth be told, guys, I'm kind of finding that market. Pastel at 90. We did take that home. That's not too crazy surprising. Mahogany pastel at 150. So that one came home. That's the snake we probably could have sold, but truth is, I kind of forgot it was with us. So I was looking at people who wanted some darkening things. I pushed them more towards straight mahogany, which we did, I think, move a few of those maybe. So that was probably on my salesmanship on that one, to be blunt. Up here, the Smarty Gras pastel at 350. We ended up taking that home. We did sell another freeway, which we showed you earlier. So we had 2 of those. So they were competing for, you know, that, and we ended up eventually selling 1. So I have high hopes we'll sell that at the next show. This double het pie Tofino albino. Oh, I forgot this one, didn't I? Super pastel het SK 175. We took that home. It's a really nice looking animal, but we still ended up taking it home. Again, people aren't paying for those hets right now. Most people aren't wanting to pay extra money for something they can't see. It is more people wanting a pretty animal to keep at home. So this double het pie Tofino / albino, same boat, had it $100. It's guaranteed double het. Why do we make that? We made it for a project. We want to do some albino or toffee pies. Had to make our own hets first. We didn't really have to, but you all know me. I prefer taking that path. Like, part of that enjoyment for me in this is walking the path to making that animal, and I made the parts for it. I made the whole thing. I like that. So we had to kind of, you know, we got the byproduct of that pairing from getting those held back. Bell. So we had another bell. We actually took 2 bells. We sold both of them. So we sold that bell there. I told you we did move 1 visual clown. It was a Cinchi clown here at $200. We sold it. And then here's the other bell. You notice it doesn't say sold. Truth is, the show was ending. People were tearing down and packing up. We're always one of the last ones to pack up. We just started packing up because we didn't want to see anybody shopping, and it was the end. And the guy walked up and was still looking. We're like, stop. kind of show them things, pulled some more things out that we'd already packed up so you could see them, and we ended up selling that bell at the buzzer. So the show closes at like 3:30. I bet we made that sale at 3:28, 3:29, maybe 3:35 time we got it done. I don't know. So my point being is always kind of fight to the end. Don't ignore somebody walking up. Unpack if you need to. Do what you need to do. Is added $300 to our day. So we sold both bells. Again, we took these to Oklahoma City, right? And we took both of them back home with us. We were kind of surprised. So KC, they both left. This pastel scaleless head, we ended up keeping it. Again, I think this is part of it. This is a twofold thing. One, is a scales project, what is it? That's one problem. And two, you're paying for this gene of scaleless head, and visually it doesn't do a whole lot unless you're really paying close attention beyond just a regular pastel. So it's going to be a little bit harder to sell. We sold this pastel at $90. Again, it just came down to which pastel was prettier here at the time. This pastel leopard spot nose, fuck, I still got that thing. Here's another Orange Dream Het Desert Ghost. Now, I thought we'd sell this snake. I really did. So I'm like, man, this is nice. It's Orange Dream, 100% Het Desert Ghost, 66% chance for being Het Cryptic or Clown. For a female at $300, this thing is going to go. Truth be told, I'm probably priced wrong on this. I have this male up here at $350 and I had this female at $300. I probably should have at least reversed that. This is probably severely underpriced, yet we took it home. So, another female pastel at $50. Truth is, I did offer that one, I think, for the same price on Chooser one. So this is just one that's big we need to make go away. So we put that home on that. This is how box 2 went. So as you can see, there is a lot of animals that got moved out of the first 2 boxes. The next 2 boxes will be more of the same. We sold quite a few animals. When you start looking at that range, it's $300, it's $300, it's we sold one of these at $350, a different one, right? We sold a couple right around the $100 mark animals. You're really seeing that $400 to $100 as being the market where we did really, really, really well when it was visual things you could see. Things that sold the best were bright, contrasting snakes, the eye-catching snakes. That's what sold the best for us at this show. If it was bright and it contrasted, it sold for the most part, or had a good chance of selling. So we're going to stop, spray all these down, put all these up, log them in the computer so I know which ones I'm not looking for. When we go to Lincoln, hint, hint, we're going to Lincoln the end of this month. I want you all to make sure and come out to Lincoln if you can and support us. We are going to be giving half of our profits away at that show to support the Sunset Zoo. We're hoping to be able to adopt at least a couple animals. So coming out and buy something and know your money goes somewhere more important than my pocket. Kurt, anything you want to add?
No.
We are flying solo today, but rest assured we will not always be. So thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.